Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always, giving you the latest news and what players are linked with Manchester United and all that, as we do on this channel every day. So the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on. There's lots to talk about, with the first thing I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Ivan Rakitic from Barcelona. Now, I haven't spoken to you guys about him in quite a while, so reports do emerge are now emerging out saying that Manchester United are linked with a summer move for Ivan Rakitic. I think from Ivan Rakitic's perspective, I think he remains happy with Barcelona, but I wouldn't be keen on Ivan Rakitic, coming to Manchester United. Of course, don't get me wrong, he's had a fantastic career as Ivan Rakitic. Obviously, the majority of the silverware he has won has become at Barcelona. Obviously, he's been at Barcelona since 2014, so he has been there 5 years, of course, as Ivan Rakitic. But like I said, he's 31 years of age now. He's currently aging up as Ivan Rakitic. Can play as a central midfielder. He can also play as an attacking midfielder. But the Barcelona boss, Ernesto Valverde, has confirmed that he will allow Ivan Rakitic to leave Barcelona this summer if Barcelona, of course, can find an adequate replacement for him. So Ernesto Valverde had a meeting, with the Barcelona president. Was it last Tuesday? This is in the Manchester United Evening News, and confirmed that Ivan Rakitic will be allowed to leave Barcelona this summer if Barcelona, of course, can find an adequate replacement for him. I think also Inter Milan have been in for Ivan Rakitic. Ivan Rakitic is still under contract with Barcelona until 2021, and obviously, Manchester United, would see him as a replacement for Ander Herrera. But like I said, he's obviously, never played in the Premier League, and I don't think he'd suit the Premier League, now Ivan Rakitic, if I'm going to be quite honest, I think he would be a flop, so I wouldn't be keen on him coming to Manchester United. Obviously, it'd probably cost you around £40 million. Obviously, Barcelona have got Frankie de Jong coming in this summer, of course, and obviously, with Frankie de Jong arriving, Ivan Rakitic, could find himself surplus to requirements at Barcelona, even though I don't think he's got any intentions of, leaving Barcelona as Ivan Rakitic. But I think Manchester United, have been in for him quite a few times. Obviously, before he was at Barcelona, he had about 3 years with Seville. I think before he was at Seville, he had quite a few years with Schalke, and he initially, began his career with Basel as a current youngster. But he is 31 years of age, and obviously he's not going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy anyway, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. Obviously, he's worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. He wants to recommend a number of young players to come in. So Ivan Rakitic probably would be a short-term player. You'd probably only get a couple of years out of him, if that, because he's now 31 years of age. But he has had a fantastic, career, I said, and he has done really, really well with Barcelona. But he does say, Manchester United are in for him. Like I said, that midfield area is one of the pivotal areas where Manchester United, of course, need to strengthen up. Obviously, with Paul Pogba, supposedly leaving, I think, if he leaves, we're going to need 3 new additions in that, midfield and all that. So I don't want Manchester United, to bring Ivan Rakitic in, even though Barcelona are willing to currently sell him and all that. I want to give you some additional information as well about Adrian Rabiot from PSG. I haven't discussed with you about him in quite a while. Now, reports are saying that Juventus are in the ascendancy of getting, Adrian Rabiot's signature, because reportedly Adrian Rabiot has confirmed that he's in talks with Juventus over the transfer to the Italian Giants this summer. The beneficial thing is about this Adrian Rabiot thing, that obviously, no team would have to pay any fee for Adrian Rabiot. Obviously, he's a free agent this summer. Obviously, he's coming to an end of his contract, and obviously he hasn't played a single game for PSG this year, because obviously, last year he had been withdrawn from the PSG squad, by Thomas Tuchel last year, based on his refusal to sign a new contract. But quite a few teams have been in for him. I think his mother does act like his agent, but people have got reservations about, Adrian Rabiot, with his attitude and all that, because his attitude, is supposed to be really, really bad. But reports were coming out the other week, saying the likes of Man United were in for him. It also said, Arsenal were in for him. I think also Liverpool had expressed their interest in Adrian Rabiot. It did initially say that Manchester United had offered him a lucrative contract worth up to around £170,000 a week. I think it also said, there was a sign-on fee included of around, £10 million, something like that. And it did initially say, Man United were willing to meet the salary demands and all that. So it did say we offered him around £170,000 a week. So he has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation, because it's looking imminent. He is going to be leaving PSG, Adrian Rabiot. He's only 24 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Rabiot. Only 24 years of age, very, very young. Obviously, has spent the majority of his career with PSG. Obviously, has been at PSG about 8 years, so he has been a long-serving player for them. So yeah, he's been there 8 years. I think he also had a spell with Manchester City when he was younger. So he has had experience of playing in Manchester and all that. But I don't really know much about Adrian Rabiot, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, Arsenal have inquired about his services because maybe Unai Emery's keen on reuniting with him. Obviously, Adrian Rabiot, flourished under Unai Emery's guidance, so it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving PSG. I think at the moment it remains uncertain fully where he will be playing his trade next season. But now reportedly, Juventus are in the ascendancy because Adrian Rabiot's confirmed he is in talks with Juventus. Obviously, Juventus are expected to appoint Maurizio Sarri as their successor to Massimiliano Allegri, because obviously, Massimiliano Allegri has stepped down as Juventus manager after he was in charge for 5 years. But now, yes, Sarri is expected to be appointed Juventus' new manager. Obviously, he's going to be returning to Italy as Maurizio Sarri. I think Chelsea and Juventus have agreed a £7 million release clause on this, so it's not been fully announced yet. I think it's supposed to be fully announced within the next 24 hours that Maurizio Sarri is going to be the new manager of Juventus and all that. And I think Chelsea are expected to appoint Frank Lampard as Maurizio Sarri's replacement and all that. So that's been officially confirmed. But yeah, could be looking likely now that Adrian Rabiot is currently going to be going to Juventus. But quite a few teams, of course, have been in there for him. But like I said, a lot of players are on Manchester United's agenda. Of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to win at least 5 new additions to the club. Obviously, we've got our first sign on the board through Daniel James, which is very, very good. But obviously, Solskjaer's going to want to build on that, and he's going to want to bring another 4 or 5 more players in to Manchester United. Spending spree £200 million. Like I said, that should be enough to get us around 5 players on the board. Depending on how we are with our recruitment this summer, because obviously, there's quite a few players on our agenda that are available for reasonable figures. So some people have said, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. But obviously, analysing our recruitment policy, it's very poor. We didn't spend out in January. We didn't get as number one targets last summer. And obviously, you can see the deficiencies in the squad, and you can identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking. So, like I said, we definitely I think we need 2 central defenders, because we've got issues defensively. That was proven last season. We conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season. We definitely need new additions in that midfield. We need a right winger. I think we're okay on that left hand side because the majority of our attack comes from that left hand side. And I think we need someone up front that can score as them goals and lead the lines and all that. Because obviously last season wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. We didn't score enough goals. Wasn't creative enough in the attack of the third of the pitch. So we do need someone to come in and get us them goals that we do need. But we need to see vast improvements. Going into next season. What we saw from last season, of course, and all that. In regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I said, we've got to give him time, to see who we can get in, of course, this summer, and then see what happens, going on into next season. Some people are still saying, we should give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a couple of years and all that. Like I said, if it does go wrong going into next season, there is, if it all goes wrong going into next season, there's a likely chance, that it could be sacked from Manchester United and all that. But like I said, I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot. He's a great player for us for 11 years. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager. He hasn't really got the managerial experience, not to the highest level. And this is one thing, that does concern me. He did win a couple of Norwegian titles with Molde and all that, but I still love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot. And, hopefully we can get our number 1 targets this summer. I know it's going to be hard for us to do that because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But as Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season, he still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football. But players, may still want to come to Manchester United, because we are, I know we're a toxic club at the moment, and we've been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. But we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England historically and all that. We've got a fantastic fan base. So some players, may still want to join Manchester United, even though we're not in Champions League football for next season. But like I said, Champions League football is always pivotal. But we have been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. Obviously, a lot of money's been spent. We've had different managers with different type of philosophies. We've seen players come in. We've seen players currently go and all that. But there's a lot of problems at Manchester United at the moment that do need addressing. There's cultural problems at the club. Obviously, the one thing I'm really disappointed about that we are not expected to appoint a sporting director in. Well, I'm really annoyed about this, that we're not expected to appoint a sporting director in. Obviously, so this means obviously now that Ed Woodward, will be overseeing our transfer business this summer. But there's been so many candidate names, linked with that director as well at Manchester United. There's been talks of Ferdinand coming in. There's been talks of Dan Fletcher coming in. There's also been talks of Paul Mitchell coming in before. There's been talks of Everett and all that. So there's been so many candidate names, linked with that director as well. Like I said, that is a structural change, that we do need. The club is getting a director of football and that. So, obviously now it's looking like we're not going to appoint a sporting director in. So obviously we're going to stick with the same structure and all that. So this is the question: is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, going to be able to, to succeed in these conditions? And that is the question. But I still love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot, because don't forget, it all went well when he was interim manager in his first 3 months. Them expectation levels were met and all that. The results were good. The performances were really, really good and all that. And he just seems to have all gone wrong, since he has got the job permanently and all that. But let's be honest, none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so he's still in the process of rebuilding. Obviously, the only player that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's is obviously Daniel James, but obviously he's still inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. There's players Ethan Van Gaal, there's Matt Ethan and David Moyes, initially Fellaini, but obviously, he left in January. And obviously, there's still 4 or 5 players even the Alex Ferguson era. But regardless of who our manager is, no one's ever going to follow, Alex Ferguson's legacy. But obviously, once it get back to being a competitively level football club. I want to be back up there, competing and all that. And I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is definitely, going to be that top 4. And I do believe going on into next season, probably our expectations will be to probably finish in the top 4, maybe win the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League. We are a number of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge up and all that, or winning the league. Some people have said if we can get the right players, some that do believe we can challenge for the league next season, maybe even win the league next season. But I don't see that currently happening, because at the moment, City is strides ahead of us, Liverpool is strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on bringing the right players to Manchester United this summer, who thinks are going to be good enough, to represent Manchester United and elevate Manchester United forward. He's also working on trying to keep his imperative players in the football club, and obviously one of his imperative players, of course, is Paul Pogba. So there has been more things that I've updated about Paul Pogba. I think I updated you a couple of times on a few of my videos yesterday. Now, it does reportedly say that the Juventus director is obviously is in London holding talks with Manchester United over the transfer for Paul Pogba, because as you all know, Juventus are interested in re-signing Paul Pogba, and obviously a lot of reports have emerged about this last week, saying that Juventus were interested in re-signing him. He did basically say that Juventus have made initial contact with Manchester United, and Juventus have been negotiations with his agent Rabiot. Damasio came out yesterday, who is a very reliable Italian journalist, especially in relation to Manchester United, and when it comes to transfers and all that, very reliable. He says now Juventus have begun talks with Manchester United over re-signing Paul Pogba and all that, and we do know it's looking very imminent that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving. Based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on Paul Pogba, there may be a slight possibility chance that he could remain at the football club, but obviously from Paul Pogba's perspective, he does want to leave Manchester United. I still believe his first choice preference is Real Madrid, because obviously Real Madrid have been heavily linked to him. Obviously he's been on Zinedine Zidane's agenda for quite some time, and it's one of his main priority targets. And obviously Real Madrid, I think, have got 5 signings so far this summer. Obviously they've got Eden Hazard from Chelsea, they've got Eder Militao from Porto, they've got Luka Jovic from Frankfurt. I think they've also got Mendy from Lyon, and I think they've also got someone else, but I can't remember the other one who they signed. But I think they have got 5 signings so far on the board this summer. So obviously Zinedine Zidane wants Paul Pogba to help him with his rebuilding project and all that. So initially we don't want to sell Paul Pogba, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing everything he can to try and convince him to remain at the football club. He came out a couple of weeks ago saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy, but obviously that's not going to be enough to convince him to remain at the football club. He's still got 2 years left on his contract as Paul Pogba, with an option of a further year and all that. But we do know, at least in the last couple of months, that Paul Pogba's agent Rabiot has been in the process of finding him a new club. But yeah, Real Madrid have been in for him, of course. Reportedly, I think we want around £150 million, but Real Madrid are reluctant to pay up to the £150 million. So Real Madrid are not keen on a straight cash payment. But maybe Paul Pogba would be open to making the return back to Turin. More than likely, Juventus would have to offload at least 1 or 2 of their essential players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I don't think Juventus, would be able to afford Paul Pogba outright. Like I said, based on the huge transfer fee that we've put on him. So reports were coming out yesterday, I think, if I'm right, saying that while we've been in talks with Juventus and all that, did say if we are willing to sell Paul Pogba, to Juventus, we are demanding Joe Cancelo in exchange for Paul Pogba and all. I think Joe Cancelo has actually been linked with a move to Manchester City. That's one of the players we are demanding from Juventus if we are willing to let Paul Pogba make the return back to Juventus. But he did have 4 good years in Turin. Did Paul Pogba? He did really, really well. He won 4 Serie A's, he won 2 Coppa Italians and all that. And know, he exceeded expectation levels, but he hasn't really replicated this form, you know, since he did make the return back to Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we paid £89 million to him, obviously our most expensive signing. Like I said, it's not always about, you know, spending big on players. It's not always about getting them, you know, well-established players, because he doesn't always guarantee you success. And there's a prime example shown. You know, paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. But we've got a history of spending big on players anyway, especially in recent years. But like I said, you know, it could be possibly, you know, open to making the return back to Turin. I think it did say one of the players that Juventus are willing to offer is Paulo Dybala as part of the deal for Paul Pogba. And obviously, you know, Paul Dybala has been on Manchester United's agenda, you know, for quite some time and all that. But a lot of reports were coming out the other week, you know, saying that, you know, Real Madrid had been in talks, you know, with Manchester United and that over the sale of Paul Pogba. And it didn't literally say that, you know, Paul Pogba to Real Madrid is practically done. It also said he's agreed a massive pay cut in his salary and all that, because obviously he's 13 million a year wage demands. Obviously, you know, Real Madrid were not willing to meet his current wage demands and all that. So I probably still believe he'll either go to Real Madrid or Juventus if he does leave. But I still believe his first choice preference, of course, is Real Madrid. But maybe a couple of main factor reasons why Paul Pogba wants to leave the football club, because maybe he wants to be, you know, in Champions League football, you know, wants to be winning trophies, wants to be competing, wants to be playing amongst better players and all that. And he's obviously, you know, not experiencing this at Manchester United. And initially, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba, you know, built a great relationship. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows him really, really well, because when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed the Manchester United reserve team, you know, he watched some of this team in this day and age, you know, grow and develop. And of course, one of them was Paul Pogba. But of course, Paul Pogba last year, you know, was heavily linked to move away from Old Trafford, you know, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, going back last year, I think there was talks of him going to Barcelona. There were also talks of him going to his, you know, talks of him going to Juventus as well. So being subjected to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. You know, he's 26 years of age, he's in his prime. You know, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still knows how imperative Paul Pogba, of course, is. You know, we had Paul Pogba, you know, when he was younger. We had him when he was a youngster under the Alex Ferguson era, but he risen up the ranks for a couple of years, and a couple of years after, I think he made a couple of first team appearances. Obviously, this was under Alex Ferguson, but obviously, you know, based on limited appearances, you know, we let Paul Pogba leave on a free transfer, and then he went and had 4 good years, you know, in Turin with Juventus. So it is Juventus and Real Madrid, of course, that are battling it out for him, but we reportedly want around £150 million for Pogba. So if he does leave, obviously, you know, we're going to need a replacement for him. Now, as he updated you yesterday, in regards to Romelu Lukaku, now it's looking very in that Romelu Lukaku is going to be leaving the football club. Obviously, reports have said, you know, that Lukaku has agreed personal terms with Inter Milan that could see him earn around £6.6 million in bonuses until 2024, because I think he's agreed a 5-year deal with Inter Milan. That means he'll be under contract with them until 2024. And obviously, Antonio Conte got appointed as Inter Milan's manager a couple of weeks ago, and obviously, you know, he's identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Now, reportedly, you know, we want at least around £62 million for Lukaku. Obviously, you know, it came out a couple of weeks ago, you know, saying that we are demanding around £80 million for Lukaku. So basically, you know, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton back in 2017. Obviously, you know, we got him for £75 million. Obviously, there were several add-ons, including a deal, which had initially, you know, risen it to £90 million. He has still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week. But obviously, Inter Milan and Manchester United are still negotiating about a fee and all that, because obviously an initial fee has not yet, you know, come to an agreement. But Inter Milan, from their perspective, initially rate Lukaku at around £50 million, but reportedly, you know, we want at least £62 million. So possibly, you know, the fee, you know, could be the stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan. But I do believe everything else has been agreed, you know, the personal terms, the contract and all that. Inter Milan are willing to meet his wage demands. He even said the other week that Lukaku was willing to take a pay cut, you know, to make his move to Inter Milan. But it came out quite a few weeks ago, you know, saying that Lukaku had been in Italy, you know, he'd held negotiations with Inter Milan's representatives over getting a deal over the line. But I think, you know, Antonio Conte, when he was the manager of Chelsea, you know, back in 2017, he wanted Romelu Lukaku then, but obviously, you know, he ended up, you know, coming to Manchester United. So Conte has identified him as his number one target. But, you know, it will be beneficial if we sell Lukaku, because, you know, it will help us with our rebuilding process. It'll also help us with our transition and all that. And like I said, if we sell Lukaku and Pogba, that's probably around £200 million there for us anyway. Spending speed £200 million, but obviously, like I said, if we cash in for them too, it's going to mount up to a lot more than that. And it will help us, like I said, it will help us our transition and our current rebuilding process. But it does say everything else has been agreed, you know, with Lukaku and Inter Milan, but obviously, the initial fee has not yet come to an agreement. I think it did say Inter Milan need to raise around £40 million before the end of this month, to meet financial fair play regulations and all that. But yeah, I think Lukaku probably will end up, making his move to Inter Milan, because obviously his surplus to requirements at Manchester United. Obviously, Lukaku's reluctant, to play a backup, to Marcus Rashford, because we know Marcus Rashford his first choice ahead of Lukaku. Obviously, Lukaku's been at Manchester United, 2 years. Obviously, he scored 42 goals in 96 games. He did well in his first season, Romelu Lukaku. He did really, really well, but he didn't replicate that, of course, in his second season, Romelu Lukaku. So he is surplus to requirements at the club. Manchester United told him a couple of weeks ago, that he can leave and all that. But reportedly, we want at least £62 million over Lukaku. But, don't get me wrong, I've got strong reservations about him anyway. His first touch concerns me. I don't think he's mobile enough. He's a big game bottler. Never rise up to the occasion against the big teams. He hasn't got that endless potential and all that, Lukaku. I think he sustained also a couple of injuries last season. So, obviously he's not going to be assured first team football at Manchester United anymore. And obviously if he goes to Inter Milan, obviously he's going to be assured first team football. But he's only 26. He's in his prime. He has still got quite a lot of development in him. Like I said, his ratio is still very good in the Premier League. His pedigree's very, very good in the Premier League. And he has, scored a lot of goals in the Premier League as Lukaku. So I think he'll probably end up making the move to Inter Milan. I think obviously reports came out earlier on this week saying that Inter Milan had offered a player. Inter Milan put an offer in of a player plus cash for Romelu Lukaku, but reportedly it said Manchester United had rejected this. So it did say Inter Milan offered Ivan Perisic, plus cash to Manchester United to lure Lukaku away from Old Trafford. But reportedly Man United had turned this down because Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target under Jose Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. Is Ivan Perisic. I think also, there's been talks that of Icardi has been part of the deal with Lukaku. So Inter Milan have offered us Icardi, but I don't think we are keen on bringing Mario Icardi in. So I think Inter Milan are looking to actually get rid of Mario Icardi. So like I said with Lukaku, it would be beneficial if we do cash in for him, and obviously then find an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku, because like I said, we need someone who can score them goals, because obviously Rashford and Martial at the moment not reliable enough to get us them goals that we do currently need, because obviously they haven't got emulated to that level yet. It's going to take them a couple of years to get into that level where of course where they want to be, Rashford and Martial. So it's very, very essential if Lukaku leaves that we do get a replacement for him. I think it's looking very imminent that Darmian and Rojo are going to be leaving the club. Obviously an estimated guess we can get around 25 or 30 million pounds for them. Like I did currently say, they're both enjoyed the difficult times at Manchester United and all that. With Eric Bailly, I don't think we'll be selling him this summer, but I think Manchester United, would be open to selling Eric Bailly, because I think his Manchester United career has been affected, the amount of injuries he's sustained, obviously, with his fallout under managers and all that. So I think his Manchester United career has been badly affected. So it would be beneficial if we did sell him. Obviously, we'd be looking to probably recoup the initial £30 million that we did pay for him from Villarreal back in 2016 and all that. But yeah, I think we are hoping, to selling Eric Bailly. Obviously, we've got Smalling and Jones. We know they're going to be here next season, but they shouldn't be. Obviously, it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Smalling and Jones new long-term contracts. Obviously, Smalling's been here 8 years. Smalling's been here 9 years. Jones has been here 8 years. They've been two long-serving players at the club, but they're too inconsistent now for Manchester United. Plus the aging up, and this is why I said we need two central defenders. Of course. So obviously, there's been a lot of talks, about Matthias de Ligt going on. So I will give you some additional information about Matthias de Ligt. Reportedly, he's now turned down a move to Barcelona. Reportedly now as Matthias de Ligt, and now I think reportedly PSG are in the ascendancy of getting Matthias de Ligt's signature, because reports came out the other day saying that PSG had offered around £70 million to Ajax with add-ons included, and it also said PSG offered Matthias de Ligt a 5-year contract worth around 340 grand a week. Now basically, it did basically say that Matthias de Ligt's agent Rabiot, has been in negotiations with the PSG sporting director over getting a deal finalised and all that. Now I do believe his two likely destinations are either Barcelona or PSG and that, because obviously they are the two teams that are considered to be the favourites to get the players' signature and all that. But now recent reports have said he's turned down a move to Barcelona. This means now PSG could be in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for Matthias de Ligt. But we do know, at least in the last couple of months anyway, that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy of getting the players' signature and all that. Obviously, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate Frankie de Jong, who obviously Barcelona paid £65 million or so. Maybe Matt Easterley is keen on reuniting with his current teammate and all that. Obviously, reports came out the other week saying that talks had stalled between Matt Easterley and Barcelona. Obviously, the main factor reason why the talks had stalled because obviously Barcelona were not willing to meet what De Ligt was demanding or what his agent Rabiot of course was demanding and all that. But I still believe his two likely destinations are Barcelona and PSG. I don't think yet Matt Easterley has made a decision on his future and all that, so he's still unsure about his future. But it's imminent he's going to be leaving Ajax, but it still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. And he's been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window. So many teams have been in for him. I still believe Manchester United are in there for him. Obviously, Liverpool have been in for him. Like I said, the main factor reason why Liverpool have been in for him because obviously they're keen on obviously putting Matt Easterley alongside Virgil van Dijk in their back line. Van Dijk and De Ligt have got a great relationship. They know each other really well. They're both playing the Netherlands national team. They're both Dutch and all that. So this is why Liverpool have been in for him. Also, City have been in for him because they're looking for the replacement for Vincent Kompany and. They're looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany. I think also Juventus have been in for him. Obviously now, Bayern Munich have previously been in for him, but I think now Bayern Munich have opted him out of the race. So many teams have been battling out for his current services. In terms of transfer fees, he's probably going to cost you from between 70 to 75 million pounds. He's Matthijs de Ligt. But he did reportedly say the other week, that reportedly, Manchester United had offered him a lucrative contract, worth up to 350 grand a week. Obviously, this equates to almost 17 million pounds a year. And obviously, if this was to process, which I don't think it will, it would make him the highest paid teenager in world football, also make him one of the highest paid players at Manchester United. But I think Matthijs de Ligt, wants to go to a club that can offer him Champions League football, and I think he also wants to go to a club that can assure him first team football and all. And I know Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football, but we would be able to assure Matthijs de Ligt first team football, and he would help us with our own rebuilding project and all that. And he has been one of our priority targets as Matthijs de Ligt. But I think we are definitely now set to currently miss out on him. I think he did say the other week in the media that Matthijs de Ligt's agent Rabiot had actually said from his own preference he would like his client to make the move to Liverpool because maybe Rabiot thinks his client would be the Liverpool would be the perfect solution for him and all that. But he's a central defender. He's only 19 years of age, very very young. Obviously he's got a hell of a lot of development in him. Obviously so far has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax, but obviously he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. He's Matthijs de Ligt. And like I said, he won the Golden Boy Award last year. He became the first defender to win the Golden Boy Award, did Matthijs de Ligt. And also enjoyed a great season last season with Ajax, winning domestic double, also winning the Eredivisie title, and also progressing to Champions League semi-final and all that. So enjoyed a really good season last season. And he did really, really well, last season, did Matthijs de Ligt. I think Matthijs de Ligt became more of a first team start, for Ajax when Davinson Sanchez, left Ajax for Tottenham back in 2017 and all that. He's 19, like I said. I think he got named captain at the age of 18. I think he made his senior debut at just the age of 17 and all that. So he has become an integral part of Ajax's squad. I think he's made about 117 senior appearances, but I do believe Manchester United are set to miss out on him. I think he did say sometime this week. It did allegedly say that Barcelona were set to reopen up talks with his agent Rabiot and all that. So I think at the moment it's looking likely he could be making the move to PSG. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis as well about Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace now, report allegedly, he wants to make the move to Manchester United. He has informed Crystal Palace about this. Like I said, I'm still a bit sceptical of Wan-Bissaka coming to Manchester United at the moment. I don't think there's enough credibility in it at the moment to believe what's being said and all that. But he does reportedly say, Crystal Palace want at least £60 million for him. Reportedly, it's saying Manchester United are preparing to put a bid in for him of around £50 million. Obviously, we've recently, just had a £40 million bid turned down for Wan-Bissaka. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to, recommend him in. It's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. And obviously, he's going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly because obviously he wants to recommend young players in. And Wan-Bissaka is only 21 years of age. And also, he's British. And, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents this summer. And obviously, like I said, there's quite a few British players on our agenda. And obviously, Wan-Bissaka, of course, he's British and all that. But yeah, I really, really like him a lot. Looking at it ultimately, Crystal Palace, don't want, are reluctant to basically sell Wan-Bissaka because Crystal Palace know how much of a central player he is to them. Obviously, so far has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, graduated from their youth system and all that. Made his senior debut for Crystal Palace in February of last year, and obviously, last season, established himself as a first team regular and all that. And I do really, really like him indeed. He's predominantly a right back. He's Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, initially when he was a lot younger, he was an out-and-out winner, but as he was developing, he got rotated as a right back. I think he's made about 42 senior appearances for Crystal Palace, and I think he's got like 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. But I think Tottenham have also, inquired about his services. But like I said, we definitely need a right back because I think we need a replacement for Antonio Valencia, and I do believe Wan-Bissaka, would be would be the perfect successor to Valencia. Valencia is leaving the club, but I don't know where he's currently going to be going. He's been a long servant here, he's been here a decade. Obviously, we need an upgrade to Ash Young. Obviously, Ash Young's been another long serving player here. He's been here 8 years. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Ash Young that new 1 year extension. And it was, obviously last season he was our first choice right back, but he's one of the problematic players at Manchester United. Is Ash Young. He has passed his sell by date and all that. So, and he's no longer got the ability, to fulfil that right back position. And we need a cover up for Diego Dalot. So, like I said, I think Wan-Bissaka, would be the right solution. Whether £50 million will be enough to convince Crystal Palace to sell him or not, I do not know. But even if Wan-Bissaka doesn't leave this summer and he does remain loyal to Palace for another season at least, obviously at some point in his career anyway, he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. So reportedly he's told Crystal Palace he wants to make the move to Manchester United. But there's been quite a few right backs on our agenda, but I do believe Wan-Bissaka is the top priority. But he reportedly said the other day that we're looking at Max Evans from Norwich as an alternative, if we don't get a deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka. Obviously Max Evans is 19, very young, primarily right back, can play as a left back, but primarily a right back. Won the championship with Norwich last season. I think last season was his first season in the senior squad with Norwich. I think he joined Norwich's youth system in 2016, so he did graduate from their youth system. He was in their youth system quite a few years, and then obviously I think he made his senior debut last season for Norwich. Did Max Evans and all that. I think he signed a new contract then back in October of last year. Obviously, Palace would look into getting Max Evans if of course if they were to lose Wan-Bissaka and all that. So we have seen Max Evans as the alternative. Also, there's been a lot of talks about Meunier from PSG. Obviously, going on. Obviously, reports came out about this the other week and all that. Obviously, it did say Manchester United and Arsenal, were in for Thomas Meunier. I like Meunier a lot. I'm looking at it from a financial point of view. He's going to substantially, cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka is Meunier, because it didn't just say PSG want from between 22 to 25 million pounds for him and all that. And that is a reasonable figure. And he's an experienced fullback. He's 27 years of age. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. And I think he's keen. I think he wants to rejuvenate his career, and I think he wants to come to the Premier League. He has been at PSG 3 years. I think he's made over 100 odd appearances for them and all that. I think PSG got him from Club Brugge for around £5 million back in 2016. But like I said, he's predominantly a right back. Can play in other positions. He's got goals in him. He's got assists in him. Only got a year left on his deal with PSG. But I think he got revealed from his own preference. He wants to make the move to Manchester United, because reportedly Thomas Meunier has been a Manchester United fan, since he was a child. Reportedly, Arsenal have inquired about him. Obviously, Umran Ray, well, Meunier has played under Umran Ray, obviously, and they actually flourished under Umran Ray's guidance. But since Umran Ray left, Meunier has found himself service to requirements. I think Thomas Meunier has sustained quite a few injuries as well. So yeah, quite a few right backs on our agenda. Quite a few right backs on our current agenda. And like I've updated you yesterday in regards to Antoine Griezmann from Atletico Madrid, I think it remains uncertain where he's currently going to be going at the moment. Obviously, Griezmann last month had made an admission about leaving Atletico Madrid, and obviously he's going to be leaving Atletico Madrid, and obviously he looks very destined. He was going to be making the move to Barcelona, but now obviously recent reports have come out saying that Barcelona have got reservations about it now. They're stalling on their move for Griezmann, and they have currently got second thoughts about it and all that. So I think Griezmann remains uncertain about his future at the moment. But a lot of reports were coming out yesterday saying that we are set to hijack Barcelona's move for Griezmann, and it did say we are preparing to smash our transfer record, and it did say we are willing to offer around £95 million for Antoine Griezmann and all. So Manchester United are in for him. Whether he comes or not, I do not know. I don't think it'll happen, for my own opinion. But yeah, Griezmann is going to be leaving Atletico Madrid, but it has been looking very likely. He's set to to be going to Barcelona and all that. He did come out a couple of weeks ago saying that Manchester United made initial contact with Griezmann over the potential move to Old Trafford. Obviously, he's 28 years of age now. Obviously, he's still got goals in that in him, and he can lead the lines and all that. And he has, as he has demonstrated in his 5 years, with Atletico Madrid, he's been a good servant to Atletico Madrid and all that. He scored 133 goals in 257 games for them in all competitions. As Antoine Griezmann. But like I said, I just wouldn't be keen on us, spending just, I wouldn't be keen on us, just spending just under £100 million, on Griezmann. I just wouldn't be keen on it. I'd rather spend that 100 odd million, on Joe Felix than Benfica, because obviously Joe Felix is, about 9 or 10 years younger than Griezmann. He's got a hell of a lot more development in him than Antoine Griezmann, and I don't think Griezmann is the fundamental player as he was, a couple of years ago. But he's still a very, very good player. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, his release clause is 170 odd million pounds at the moment, but obviously, at the beginning of next month, his release clause does reduce to around 104 or 105 million pounds. But Griezmann was on the verge of joining Barcelona last summer. He was on the verge of joining Barcelona last summer, but obviously signed a new long-term contract with Atletico Madrid, so he is under contract with them until 2023 and all that. And he obviously, Griezmann has spent the entirety of his career in Spain. Like I said, he's been at Atletico Madrid 5 years. Obviously, he began his career at Real Sociedad, where he did progress up the ranks. And obviously, he was on the verge of joining Manchester United a couple of years ago. If you remember rightly, we had number 7 vacant. We were looking for someone to fill that number 7. And obviously, we it was looking like we were going to get Griezmann, but obviously due to the transfer ban, Atletico Madrid got, his move to Old Trafford, of course, never materialised. So I do believe, we are in there for Griezmann. I think from Atletico Madrid's perspective, they still remain uncertain, where currently will be going. They mentioned this the other day that, they've got a good relationship with Griezmann and all that, and he's been a good servant, and they're wishing the best for the future, but they don't know where he's currently going to be going. There's still a possibility chance he could go to Barcelona, but recent reports have said, Barcelona now are stalling on their move, and if Barcelona were to get him, obviously, it would probably I think it would be their third £100 million plus signing in 3 years, in 3 years, something like that. Because obviously in recent years they've got Coutinho for 142 million. Obviously, got Ousmane Dembele for around 100 odd million pounds and all that, and both of them haven't really exceeded their expectation levels at Barcelona. Coutinho's been very poor with Barcelona, hasn't replicated what he did at Liverpool. And Dembele hasn't been that good. He's sustained quite a few injuries actually, as a Barcelona player, as Ousmane Dembele and all that. So yeah, like I said, I don't think Barcelona are keen on getting Griezmann in, but Manchester United are in for him. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis as well about Harry Maguire from Leicester, obviously central defender. It does say Manchester United and Manchester City are in for him, but I don't think Leicester. What Leicester are demanding an extortionate amount for him, because obviously Leicester have priced him out of the transfer market. Leicester don't want to sell him because they know how much of an essential player he is to them. But I think maybe Manchester United are willing to pay 80 or 90 million pounds for his services, even though in my opinion, and if you ask the vast majority of Manchester United fans, do you think Harry Maguire's worth 90 million pounds or 80 million pounds? They'd probably say no, but I think Manchester United would be prepared to pay this. Don't get me wrong, we've got the financial power to make that valuation. I don't know if City would be willing to pay 80 or 90 million pounds for Harry Maguire, but if Man United or Manchester City would be willing to pay that, it would be Harry Maguire the most expensive defender in world football. Obviously Liverpool's Van Dijk is the most expensive defender in world football at the moment, and it would also make him the most expensive English player of all time, Harry Maguire, ahead of Kyle Walker, because it's Kyle Walker that is the most expensive English player at the moment, who City paid £50 million for, with I think the initial add-ons including a deal, so it potentially risen it to around £52 or £53 million. City got him a couple of years ago and all that from Tottenham. But like I said, I like Harry Maguire a lot, but I don't think he's worth 80 or 90 million pounds. Obviously, he's been relentlessly linked to a move to Old Trafford. I don't think he's been one of our main priority targets. Obviously, the rumours have continued to persist since last summer of Harry Maguire coming to Manchester United, because obviously last summer Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho of course wanted. I think last summer, obviously, Leicester wanted around 70 odd million pounds. We were, of course, were reluctant to currently pay that for his services. I think City have identified Harry Maguire as their number one target, to replace, Vincent Kompany and all that, because obviously, Vincent Kompany left Manchester City after currently 11 years.
But Harry Maguire, like I said, he signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023 and all that. And he's been at Leicester a couple of seasons, so he's proven in the Premier League. I think he's made about 101 appearances in the Premier League and all that. You know, Leicester paid around £17 million to him from Hull City. I think he also had a loan spell with Wigan, and obviously, you know, when he was younger, he began his career with Sheffield United. You know, graduated from their youth system, and I think he played about 166 professional games for Sheffield United. Did Harry Maguire? So yeah, I still believe he's on Manchester United's agenda because, like I said, you know, we need someone that can partner him alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line because I was very impressed there with Victor Lindelof last season. I think, you know, he did really, really well, held his line well, you know, his distribution really, really good, his passing that, you know, really, really good. So we just need someone basically, you know, that can partner alongside him. And I do believe Harry Maguire would complement him fantastically well, but we do know there's better defenders out there than Harry Maguire, of course. But I just don't think he's worth 80 or 90 million pounds, and that is my well, no one is, but you know, especially Harry Maguire, I don't think he's worth 80 or 90 million pounds, of course. And Harry Maguire, obviously, at some point in his career, anyway, is going to want to rejuvenate his career, you know, take his footballing career to the next level. He's going to want to be playing in Champions League football and all that, you know, going to a team that can compete and win trophies and all that. And Manchester City would be the right solution for him at this moment in time. But obviously, he's not going to experience this with Leicester, of course. So if he doesn't leave this summer, I do believe at some point he will leave Leicester, will Harry Maguire. But yeah, there's been a lot of talks about him going on. I think another problem with Manchester United as well, you know, we have let far too many players' contracts run down, as you all know. That's been another issue. Like I said, I think Matic, you know, needs to go, but obviously, you know, Matic is, you know, currently going to be here next season. Like I said, I think we need a holding midfielder that's fast and tenacious, and you know, Matic, you know, he's not that, you know, he's too slow, too ineffective in that midfield. Plus, he's aging up and all that. You know, we did pay £40 million for him, but I think we need a holding midfielder, like I said, that's quick and tenacious and all that. And there's been quite a few of them on our agenda. You know, we obviously, you know, we saw Fellaini leave in January. Obviously, you know, we've got McTominay, but McTominay, you know, is too inexperienced at the moment. McTominay needs to gain a bit more experience. Obviously, we've got Fred as well. I haven't spoken to you about in a while. I think he stepped up to the plate towards the back end of last season. You know, did Fred, and to be quite honest with you, I think Fred is a better solution than Matic because I think Fred's more mobile than the Nemanja Matic. But I don't know if Fred is long-term solution. I don't know if McTominay is long-term solution and all that. So I do believe we've got to definitely, you know, address that midfield without a shadow of a doubt. Like I said, I want Sanchez to go because he's one of the problematic players at Manchester United as well. So he's definitely, you know, got to currently go. Haven't heard much more news about Sanchez for quite a while and all that. But I think, you know, he needs to currently go. Obviously, we can't get rid of him permanently, you know, based on his substantial wages. He's on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, you know, based on image rights and bonuses and all that. And his wages are having a really bad effect on the football club. And, you know, I think we definitely, you know, need to get rid of Sanchez because he's one of the problematic players at Manchester United. But yeah, the main part of this video, you know, was to give you the latest news about Ivan Rakitic. So it does basically say now that Ernesto, is the name's how to pronounce, Ernesto Valverde, Barcelona manager, is reportedly willing to sell Ivan Rakitic this summer. Reportedly, Ernesto Valverde and the Barcelona president have had a meeting about this to discuss this, and reportedly they are willing to let Ivan Rakitic go this summer if they can find an adequate replacement for him. It does allegedly say Manchester United are in for him, of course, and that, but I've got reservations, you know, about Manchester United, you know, bringing Ivan Rakitic in. I wouldn't want to see him coming, you know, to be quite honest with you, because he's aging up. He's 31 years of age. Don't get me wrong, he's had a really good career, you know, with Barcelona and all that. You know, he's been there 5 years as Ivan Rakitic. But I think from Ivan Rakitic's perspective, I think he wants to remain at Barcelona. I don't think he's got any intentions of leaving and all that, but he can play as a central midfielder and he can also play as an attacking midfielder, can Ivan Rakitic. But I think Manchester United have been in for him quite a few times. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, is keen on bringing him in, but I think he's actually, you know, snubbed Manchester United because I think, you know, he wants to be in Champions League football, and obviously, you know, Manchester United haven't got a Champions League football. Obviously, I've given you the latest news about Adrian Rabiot. Obviously, I updated you on this video, but I haven't updated you in a while. Obviously, quite a few teams have been in for him. It's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving PSG. Reportedly now, Juventus are in the ascendancy. He's confirmed Adrian Rabiot. He's in talks with Juventus over the move to the Italian Giants. Like I said, Juventus are expected to appoint Maurizio Sarri in. Obviously, you know, Chelsea and Juventus have come to an agreement on a £7 million release clause, which means Sarri's going to be making the return back to Italy and all that. And his appointment is expected to be fully finalised in the next 24 hours, as that is currently confirmed. So, obviously, you know, Juventus obviously Sarri is the successor at Juventus for Massimiliano Allegri, because Massimiliano Allegri has stepped down as Juventus manager. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.